Hello, and welcome back to the Run to Remember podcast. I'm your host, Kristen Fairs, joined alongside race director Carrie Watkins. In this week's episode, hear from News 9 anchor Robin Marsh, who was one of the journalists reporting from the scene of the Oklahoma City bombing and who has covered the Memorial Marathon for years. Next, meet Kim Burton, a running representative from Landrunners who has run countless half marathons, ultra marathons, and an Ironman. She has an inspirational story to share with us today. And finally, meet first-time marathoner Devin LaTray, who is on an amazing wellness and weight loss journey. The 2026 OKC Memorial Marathon takes place the weekend of April 24th through the 26th. Visit okcmarathon.com and sign up to run, walk, or volunteer. Carrie, we're back.
We're back. 1 week closer to the race.
Which is exciting.
It's very exciting. February's going fast, and so
February always goes fast.
Everyone's moving right along.
January's kind of slow.
January was, yes,
very long. Feels like it's about 60 days.
All right. And
February feels like it's
we're
about
wrapping
10.
it up.
Yep.
So we're heading into spring. So we're excited.
We're very excited. We're always glad to have Robin Marsh from News 9.
Thank you. I was wondering if you guys were going to invite me back to the podcast because I thought I do it almost every year, and I thought, I bet they don't have me this year. So I'm so thrilled to be here
Oh, please. We couldn't do it without you.
to talk with you guys. It's one of my favorite things to do.
You were one of the journalists who covered it
Yeah.
31 years ago. You recently took a group of folks through the museum, pinch hitted for me, and thank you. We're going to double team it, and I couldn't get there, but you did. You always bring folks through and remind them of this story. Tell us why that's so important.
Well, it's a story that we can never forget, and it is our responsibility for the people who were there, who covered it, and that it means so much to that we have to have this story moving forward always. And we ran the video of the young kids that are going to be part of the kids race, and seeing that video of them yesterday, having so much joy on the grounds of the memorial, and I thought that is why we do this,
right.
That the next generation will feel the empowered and the responsibility that you have to continue to share.
That's the truth. I think one of the things we realize is we are now teaching the story to a generation that does not know it, did not live it. Some of their parents didn't live it,
right.
Because they weren't here or whatever. Yes. And so that is the responsibility of the Memorial Museum and the race, just why we run to remember.
Mm-hmm. Robin, you've covered this story from the very beginning, and now here we are 31 years later. Are there any stories in particular that stick out to you over the last 31 years of just impactful? I know you've talked to countless family members, survivors, first responders.
I think there are so many that touch my heart that I'll never forget. When I toured the memorial just a couple of days ago with the representatives that had won the Jim Thorpe Award. They were former Jim Thorpe Award winners, and there we were at the First Christian Church telling the story of little Antonio Cooper, and that's one that to this day I'll never forget. And when I ran the half marathon, and when I've walked on the Saturday, the 5K, that's the name I always put on my shoes, Antonio Cooper Jr. And his mother, Renee, and I are still friends. And but it's things like that, those connections that you always remember. But then you'll run across people who will share their story of that they were close by the building or they just missed being in the building. And it seems like that story is always evolving about, we know the stories that we've covered year after year and the people that have meant so much to us. But then there will always be another thing that we didn't know.
Right, and some are just now willing to tell their stories.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So you cover it now. You're covering the race.
Yeah.
And you're not running this year.
No.
But you might walk the 5K.
I'll probably do the 5K.
Yeah.
I ran the half marathon.
Oh, I remember.
And it was honestly probably the toughest thing that I ever have done in my life. I mean, even outside of childbirth, I think running that half marathon was the greatest. Yes, epidurals are wonderful. Yeah. But it was the greatest labor of love, and it's something that honestly I never thought I could do. But I had a colleague who really came alongside, and she was over at my house one night, and she was a runner. And she was saying how she was going to run, and I just thought I'd love to have a playlist. I'd love to run to music, and I've never even done a 5K before. And she said, we can do it, and I'll do it with you. And there was an Edmond Runners Club that I just kind of got plugged into, and lo and behold,
you did it.
I did it.
And we talk about that a lot, just the importance of having a community as you're training for the race.
Yeah.
And we'll talk with someone from the Landrunners later.
Well,
on
and
this
that's
episode.
impressive. I mean, when you hear that, women that can run a 5K, a half, a marathon, an ultra marathon, you're like,
Right,
man,
an
these are the
Ironman,
rock stars that. But the thing I love about the marathon race is it's come one, come all. And you don't have to be a runner. You can be a walker. You can get your girlfriends. You can get your granny friends. I mean, you can get, it doesn't matter
we talked
what
about
age.
that. Just get off the couch and
Yes,
come.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a good starting race for a lot of people.
Yeah. What's it like race weekend around News 9?
Oh my gosh, it's so exciting, especially with News 9 being downtown now, because part of the race runs right in front of the News 9 studios here on Main, right at Main and Sheridan, and everyone gets so involved with it. The station, it's one of our core things that we do. And if you're not working, you should be. I mean, it's kind of like, don't do, and no one can have off. It's
Right.
like, it's even when there was severe weather 2 years ago, it's like our meteorologists are covering the storms. They leave on, late Saturday night with tornadoes that have hit, south of here, and David and Lacey and the team's ready to go on Sunday morning. They
I'll never
don't miss
forget
a
it.
beat.
Yeah.
And they don't complain about it either. So it's really something that the whole station gets behind. And if you're out cheering for the runners, if you're working the race, if you're covering the race, if you're on the air, behind the scenes, it's just something that we all love.
And where will you be this year?
I'll be right at the starting gate. I mean,
And the finish line.
And the finish line. Yeah, those are kind of my two things.
You're out there giving high fives to people as they start, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's kind of at the finish line crew. She's got to do a lot of the hard work too.
Yeah, I love interviewing all the racers as they have made their way. And it's so great to see not only the winners, but the joy on everyone's face as they're crossing the finish line. And I mean, it's just, it does something to your spirit. It does something deep inside you that it's about celebrating life. And Oklahoma City has learned the meaning of doing that after something, so horrific. And that's what I love, too, about you, Carrie, about how you've just really led and guided not only the memorial, but the community and the state, really, of that this is about a celebration. We will never, ever forget, but that we have to cherish today.
Right.
And you've just been a premier example of that. And we're
Lots
so
of help.
blessed.
Thank
I know,
you.
but don't discredit what you do, because she never wants to take any
I know,
credit.
I know.
And I always feel like I have to say, wait, sister.
Yep.
It's okay to say thank you.
Thank you. It
Okay.
is. Thank you. So do you feel like you've come full circle from covering it from those very first agonizing hours to the celebration of life at the finish line?
Absolutely. Last year I was blessed, honored, humbled to be part of 2 documentaries, still really literally around the world, still sharing the story of Oklahoma City. And I can remember getting that call from Netflix and, just that, would you share this story? And I thought, oh, why? Not me. I'm not, But then it's like you think, yes, I might need to be the one, because I was there, I'm still here, and it's like a trust you don't take lightly.
Right.
And so do I think I've come full circle on it? Absolutely. And but none of us are done with telling the story. And I think that's why we go to schools. That's why, when you see the kids from Cesar Chavez school running the marathon as
the best.
it's just so awesome.
Yeah.
So it's like you're finding all the new stories to tell, because there's always a story to tell.
Right.
You've been a voice in Oklahoma households for 30 years, over 30 years. But, as we lead up to race weekend, what message do you hope people hear and carry with them into race weekend?
I hope they understand what this weekend will mean for our community, for our state, but for the families too. There is families who will never get over what happened. They've learned to live with it, and they've learned that scar they carry will always be there. But I think this is so uplifting for them. And I think that's, when you run down that final class and you see all the banners. That's the reason we run. But we celebrate life of all the people who can run in place of people who can't. And so I think that's what I just want the community to know.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for all you do and for hanging in there with us and helping tell our story.
Hanging in there, it's an honor. Are you kidding? There's no hanging in there. It's a blessing and an honor, and every year is better than the year before, and that's what's almost hard to comprehend.
It is. I say that all the time.
Yes.
It's just every year is a great year, but the memorial looks at it and says, well, what can we do better? And it's just great. So
And somehow it happens.
it does. Well, Robin, we appreciate
Thank you,
you.
Robin.
We appreciate you continue to spread this message and share this story.
I love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Yep.
Well, I tell you one thing. It's one of the cool things about all this is just watching the community start to come together. The vibe's starting to be out there. The training groups are going. The excitement's starting to get there. So I feel like the race is just right around the
It's
corner.
coming.
Yep.
It is. And next up, we're going to talk to somebody from the awesome local training group, the Landrunners, and she has just an incredibly moving story. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. And she's running a lot of races.
Well,
I'm a little worried about her, but I think she's okay.
You love crazy runners, Gary. Yeah. So, Kim, welcome. We're so glad to have you here today. We're excited to hear about your story. So, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your running journey. And
Well, I'm Kim. I born and raised in Oklahoma. I married my best friend about 3 years ago. I work at First Security Bank and full time. So in my free time, I do a lot of running.
a lot.
A lot.
Take my hubby places to travel, to run in different states, and I run because I can.
That's awesome. So tell us about why the Memorial Marathon is so important to you.
Well, I ran OKC for my first time in 2012. I went straight from a 5K to a marathon. Didn't know what I was doing.
How was that jump?
It was hard. The longest run I had run before the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon was 10 miles. Clearly, I didn't know what I was doing, so I almost died on that race. But I crossed the finish line, and
Not literally. Just, it was tough.
yes,
Okay.
it was tough. But I had that runner's high, and I immediately, when I finished, I said, I have to do this race every year. This was awesome. The crowd support, crossing the finish line, seeing my family, I felt like it was a part of my story.
And you've had a significant health battle that you overcame. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, so shortly after I ran my first marathon, I was diagnosed with a rare neurological disorder called Guillain-Barré syndrome. By the time I was properly diagnosed, it took about 7 days, and I was paralyzed from my waist to my toes. And I was about 25 years old, and it was just a scary time. I had to learn how to walk again, and I remember the doctors asking what my goals were when I got up to physical therapy after being in acute care. And I told them I want to run the marathon I signed up for already, which was only 3 months away. And they were like kind of laughing. You may not be able to do that, but we'll try to get you there. I don't like when someone tells me I can't do something. So I, by the grace of God and the power of prayer and determination, I was able to get to the start line of the Oklahoma City and just shortly
And that's the
after-
story we did about you, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember it.
And I crossed the finish line. It took me 6 hours almost, but I crossed the finish line, and
Unbelievable.
Can you believe that?
No, I can't.
Yeah, it was,
I mean,
it was
I
really one of the
really
coolest
can't.
things.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Incredible determination inside there.
What kind of fueled your determination to return?
well,
I mean, was it you can't do this, or was it just that you wanted to be?
running is my passion. It's my therapy. I know, and I feel like I want to inspire others to show that you can do hard things. Get out of your comfort zone, and just because someone tells you can't do it doesn't mean you can't. You can prove them wrong.
That's true. You're part of the Landrunners group
Yes.
and training group, and they're the original group we had in Oklahoma City when the marathon started 26 years ago now. Tell us about the Landrunners and why it's important that you train and run with them, and how you invite people in.
Yeah, so I started running with the Oklahoma City Landrunners just to keep me accountable on my long runs. It was a training group. They kind of accepted everyone and didn't make you feel out of place, and you could go any pace, any distance. And I've just been running with them over the years and met several friends. They meet on Saturdays, free runs, and it keeps you accountable training for the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon.
Mm-hmm. And you've run 31 full marathons, 25 half marathons, ultra distances, a full Ironman, which is all just amazing just reading this. What achievement stands out the most to you?
Well, there's two. The year I crossed the finish line after learning how to walk at the OKC Memorial, and then the Ironman. It will change your life if you ever do one.
I'm going to have to take your word for it.
Yeah, me too.
Never again.
I'm proud of you, though.
When you run, do you run in honor of someone, or what's kind of your why behind your running?
Yes, so several years ago, I worked at a previous job, and two ladies I worked with there found out I was connected and ran the Memorial Marathon, and they both reached out to me at separate times. Stephanie Ellingson, she had a sister that passed away in the bombing, lost her life. It was Claudette Meek, and so I run in honor of Claudette Meek. And then Peggy Smith, who I used to work with, her daughter lost her life in the bombing, and it's Shelley Bland. So I run in honor of Claudette Meek and Shelley Bland every race now.
Isn't that amazing? This size of community, and you know two people that were impacted.
Yep.
And how does that connection kind of make this race more meaningful for you?
It means a lot to run in honor of those, like especially the family members who lost loved ones. It just
Means a lot.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's your 40th birthday year, 14th marathon in Oklahoma City. What are your goals?
So I've decided I'm gonna run 40 miles on my 40th birthday
Wow.
in April before the marathon.
Oh, what in the world?
And
How about the whole month of April? You just
run
calculate
40
your
miles
miles.
in the month of April.
And I have a endurance run on my list in July, a 12-hour endurance run. My goal is going to be run 50 miles. And then I have a couple of out-of-state marathons this year as well.
Great.
Wow.
Yep.
Incredible, very inspiring.
I know. To go from, having to relearn how to walk to months later.
So you were in your 20s when
Running
this happened,
Yes.
and then you just kept fighting through, and I remember that story.
Yes. I'm grateful for my health every day. Take advantage of it. You never know when something will be taken away from you.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's an inspiring story. I'm just really blown away by it, and just to hear how you've
Yep.
overcome and come back and continue to run long distances.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
digging in there and hanging in there with us, and just kind of the spirit you bring to the race. It's really what it's all about. Thanks for running to remember.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Kim. That's absolutely amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Amazing to go from being paralyzed to running in months and
And now she's going to run 40 miles.
running 40 miles on your 40th birthday. That sounds like something my kids would come up with.
Yeah, well.
but they're not 40. 20.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. With runners' health in mind, no one understands the importance of hydration while running or walking more than the doctors, nurses, and staff at SSM Health St. Anthony Hospital. That's why SSM Health St. Anthony Hospital partners with the marathon as the official hydration station sponsor. Along each mile of the course, race participants can hydrate at officially sanctioned marathon hydration stations with signs bearing the SSM Health St. Anthony Hospital logo.
I'm Tammy Powell, president of SSM Health St. Anthony Hospital. The Oklahoma City National Memorial is just steps away from our campus in Midtown. We are reminded of our mission every April 19th, and we remember the impact that day had on our city, our state, and on our nation. As Oklahomans, we have a lot to be proud of, and this marathon is a testimony to the resilient spirit of our community. St. Anthony is honored to be able to serve the people of Oklahoma City, and we will always remember.
Next up, we have another inspiring story to share. Welcome, Devin. You're running the marathon for the very first time.
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
It's a little bit of a detailed answer to that,
Okay.
but I was super overweight just, 2 years ago. I was over 340 pounds. I was very unhealthy. And I was invited to do the half marathon last year. I was, at the time when I got asked if I would go, I had never even ran a mile. So I was like, no, I don't run. That's not my thing. And then my wife was going to do it. And then whenever your wife tells you to do something, you do it. So I did it.
That's good.
And so
Happy wife, happy life.
yeah.
That's right.
And so ended up running, and I fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in
Really?
love with it. I was not a fast half marathoner.
Did you
Didn't do
run,
anything
walk,
crazy.
or what?
I had to walk. It wasn't a desire to walk. I was like, oh, I'm going to run the whole thing. Didn't happen. But, that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
still finished. So.
And then what made you decide, okay, now I'm going to take on the full?
Well, like I said, fell in love with running, so I kept doing it, right? So I started training for the Route 66 later on in the year so I can complete the Oklahoma Standard. So I was able to do that. And then as I was training and I was preparing for that, I was able to drop my half marathon time by 31 minutes. And I fell in love with running through it all. And so it was whenever I had such a great run at Route 66, I was like, I don't think I need to wait to do the marathon. I think I could just do it next year and prepare for it. So been training. I actually have ran with Landrunners, and it's been fun. So I haven't been every week. I didn't go whenever it was super cold. But,
Yeah.
That's inside weather.
yeah.
Right.
That's treadmill miles.
Well, that's
Yeah.
remarkable. And so you're going to get the Oklahoma Standard medal, and you will have run. You did run both races last year, and then you're going to tackle the marathon.
I think I'm gonna try to do the marathon at both, so I can do the Oklahoma Standard again. That way, I did it for the half and for the full.
Your wife,
we'll see.
did she step up?
No, she was a one and done. She
Okay.
said, "Let's do that." She'll probably run again in the future, but I
Right.
was the one that really kind of took it in. We have a two and a
love
half
that.
year old, and so managing
Oh, yeah,
the
that's-
long
Yeah.
run miles along with
Yeah, marathon training is
young
kind of a full-time job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I now work full time job. I don't know if you guys intentionally got two bankers, but I also work at a bank.
Oh, funny.
And so I work those banker hours, then come home, be present as a father and husband, and then after that.
Train.
Yeah, then it's training, which I actually try to get them in the morning because that evening I just want to go to bed.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
if I don't run in the morning, it's not going to happen. What
absolutely.
were some hurdles that you kind of had to overcome as you started running early on?
Well, it was just actually running. Like, it was so difficult. There was multiple times where I was just like, all right, I'm just walking, So I whenever I get asked if I'm a runner, I'm like, well, I run, like I sometimes run, sometimes that includes walking, but it's just getting out there, kind of like what you were saying earlier. Like, it's
Right.
just getting out there.
Right.
And so I think that was difficult. But I vividly remember one of the days I was doing the, treadmill miles like we were talking about. And I remember this bigger runner, around, my size or so, and he was just trucking along. I've never met this guy. I met him at Crunch Fitness. I never even spoke to him. So if you're listening to this, shout out. He just kept running. And he probably ran 5 miles straight nonstop. And I was like, I'm going to get there one time. And so now I'm there where I could do that. And that was just kind of building up to that because I couldn't do
love
that, but
that.
now we can over consistent time.
I love when other people kind of inspire us quietly and just by setting an example.
And now you're
doing
probably
it.
inspiring somebody.
Yeah.
And,
Hopefully.
How has this training kind of changed your mentality or changed your relationship with like wellness, just from physically, mentally?
Yeah. Well, I was originally just focused on the scale, right? On like what the number looked like. But now I'm focused on so much more when it comes to health. What is my resting heart rate looking like? What are all these details looking like in my life? Now I'm excited to go to the doctor. I wasn't before, but now I'm excited because I get to look at all my vitals and look at all the tests and see that everything's in the green and everything. And so that's kind of where I've just gotten almost addicted to health in a good way, obviously.
Right. Sure.
Of just like wanting to have everything lined up. So now I'm focused on, the whole foods, focused on all the things to, it's not just having a high protein, low calorie, meals. It's how can we lock in and feel good? Not just, the number look good, but how do you start feeling good? So.
Why does participating in the Run to Remember, why is that important to you?
Well, I was born here.
Okay.
I born and raised here. I'm actually only a year older than what this race is.
Okay.
So
you were not born at the time of the
I was
bombing.
not born at the time of the bombing, but kind of like what you guys were talking about earlier, of like hearing stories of people who might have missed it. I wouldn't be here if my dad didn't sleep in that morning. My dad actually had a meeting at 9 a.m. in the building, woke up at 8:50 and had to call to reschedule. He called at 8:50 to reschedule. 9:02, he heard the terrible, terrible sound. Turn on the news. And if my dad didn't sleep in, which I guess I'm thankful for that, very thankful,
Right.
if he didn't sleep in, I wouldn't be here today. So was I in it? No. But, it did affect my family.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've grown up in a community that has
Absolutely.
embraced this story.
Yeah.
Do you have any goals for race day?
finish. That's number one.
Have some fun.
Yeah, have some fun. I would like to take it in. I'm so excited to get back to that environment. Like what you guys were talking about, it's just such a great environment. So I want to get back to it, right? But on top of that, if I were to put a time to it, because I am a numbers guy, so I want to set something to it. My half marathon time was 2:29, so not a fast runner, right? But 2:29 is my time. So if you multiply that, add a little bit of wiggle room, I'd like to see a 5:30, 5:45, but we'll see what happens. I just want to finish and enjoy it.
What was your favorite part along the course, or your favorite part about race day last year?
I think it was just seeing, I don't know there's a specific part of the course, but I think it's just seeing that there's not a dry spot of people cheering you on, right? So like when you get into the later miles, other races, you'll see that there's nobody there cheering you on. And here we are vastly different in the sense of there's somebody there at all times cheering you on. It's so great.
Yeah.
Well, just real quick, one last minute tip. What would you tell people who are trying to tackle this?
Yeah, running or weight loss?
Both.
Yeah. So, when it comes to running, just go out there and do it. I've listened to every single podcast of this podcast, and people tell you to just do it. But if I didn't say yes to my wife's friend inviting us to that half marathon, I wouldn't have been able to experience what I've experienced this last year and falling in love with running and getting into health more.
So it really is what
really
caused you
is
to
just
lose
getting
weight.
out there. Yeah, so I had already lost 85 pounds whenever I got asked to do it. So like the quick story, I know we are running out of time, but I was getting on the ground with my 6-month-old. At the time he was 6 months, and I was struggling to get off the ground, and I realized I'm not gonna be able to see his graduation. I'm not gonna be able to see him get married. I'm not gonna be able to see him live life if I don't get my life in order. And so I started losing weight March 1st, 2024. So it was January 2025 when I got invited. I was about 85 pounds down or so, and running was what got me to that 100th pound. So the reason why this race is special to me is because I lost my 100th pound the week of the race last year. So I was able to really just have that race
great.
as a celebration, which is just so great and exciting. So
That's a great story.
Yeah. Well, congratulations
Thank you.
on just your health and wellness.
Yeah,
and
it's been great.
We'll look forward to seeing you at the finish line.
Wishing
I'll be
you well
there.
in your
I'll be there.
training.
And I hope to see you guys again sometime.
Yeah.
Yep. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Deb.
Wow. Lots of incredible stories today. Inspiring. And
Good stuff. Good people.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
From Robin covering from the get-go,
Yeah.
and 2 inspiring stories
Yeah.
that I know that helps people run along.
Right.
That's all. That's a wrap for episode 7 of season 5 of the Run to Remember podcast. Join us every Friday for a new episode. Let us know your questions and tell us your running stories at okcmarathon.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. The Memorial Marathon takes place the weekend of April 24th through the 26th, and if you haven't already, sign up today at okcmarathon.com. I'm your host, Kristen Fairs. Let's marathon.